What's your reaction so far to the committee on January 6th's hearings?
Well, I think like most of America who seemed to tune out that hearing once it got about 2 minutes into them droning on about just hatred of Donald Trump, not about any kind of new news. I think it showed everybody in America that wasn't already aware that this is just a political witch hunt. You know, most Americans that I talk to, they go, where are the hearings during prime time on inflation, on high gas prices, on the border crisis? Why doesn't Nancy Pelosi care about regular Americans? They only care about attacking their political opponents and their hatred of Donald Trump. It seems like every day that's all they care about when Americans are struggling because of the far left socialist policies of Joe Biden and Speaker Pelosi and all of her minions who vote right down the line for big government socialism.
You know, you make such a great point that Americans are talking about something totally different than January 6th. They have all the issues that you laid out. Sean and I had a podcast this week on our podcast from the kitchen table. And Sean says, and I would love to hear if you agree, Sean thinks that this will actually backfire. These hearings will backfire on the Democrats because it just proves that they're out of touch and don't care about what Americans are dealing with right now, which is a lot of economic pain.
Yeah, well, Sean is right. You could tell him I said that because, you know, when you look at where most Americans are, they're angry about these policies. They know where it's being caused. I mean, Joe Biden keeps trying to blame everybody under the sun. It's Russia, it's oil companies. Yesterday's blaming trucking companies. You know, he only wants to blame American people and American companies. He doesn't want to look in the mirror and blame himself for what he's done to destroy so many fabrics of this country and to raise prices on families. They know he did it. And whether or not he's recognizing that or willing to admit it, it doesn't matter. I think the voters have already figured out. They just want somebody who's going to fix it, which is what Republicans are going to be laying out over the next few months, is the things that we will do if we get in the majority to actually confront and fix these problems. How to lower gas prices, how to secure the border, how to address inflation, how to get parents more involved in their kids' education, and how to control this runaway crime that we're seeing in cities all across America where Democrats defunded the police and elected these DAs that are letting criminals out of jail committing more crimes. That's what we're going to be focused on. Clearly, Speaker Pelosi and her Democrat allies are not concerned about those problems.
Well, Congressman, I'm actually curious about the security measures at the Capitol. I think our enemies saw what happened on January 6th, and I guess they could just walk through the door as well. Why wasn't there some type of written report? Why didn't we turn over the investigation to an actual investigative agency that can give us some meat and not just hype?
Yeah, and why did Nancy Pelosi take off the table in these hearings a look into whether or not she turned down help from National Guard and others to harden up the Capitol well in advance before January 6th, when there were signs that there would be a lot of people coming? She supposedly was presented with other alternatives and turned it down. She won't let the January 6th Commission look into the things that she may have played a role in to weaken the posture at the Capitol. So again, it just shows you it's all politics and all about going after her political enemies, surely not looking objectively at other things that may have played a role.
Yeah, there's so many things that were left out. What happened with the pipe bombs? You know, what were the role of Ray Epps and others who many think are associated with the feds? What is going on? A lot of things left out, even the death of Ashley Babbitt, that wasn't covered at all. The only person who died in the riot, not a topic of the January 6th hearing. So you're right. It proves that this is a narrative that they're trying to push. And obviously, with 20 million viewers, because they took over all of the networks, proves that, you know, they're in collusion with the media on this as well. Steve, so
yeah, they hired a Hollywood producer to make this documentary or whatever it is you want to call it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never seen anything like that before, Will.
Yeah. Congressman, thank you for joining us this morning.
Always great being with you. Thanks.